Hello and welcome to Hot Money Technicals on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. This is a show which gives you a complete wrap of all the stocks that are buzzing in trade. I'm Darshan Mehta. Let's welcome our experts and Dhaneshwar Padwal of KIFS Securities, Kunal Parrar of Choice Broking, and Amit Shah of Indiabulls Ventures join me on the show. Thank you to all of my guests for joining me on the show. Today, let's start, before we start with the guest, let's start and analyze United Spirits. So that's the first stock that we have chosen. Since Yash isn't there, I'll be doing the analysis. So let's pull up the chart of United Spirits. Now, if you see what exactly has happened in United Spirits, it's trading at 537. Now, what we've used is the trender indicator. Now, this stock is within 1% of the trender indicator, which means when right now it's in a downtrend. Now, the trender point that is there is 542.26. So that's the trender line which is given here. If the stock today manages to close above the 542 level, this color will change into green and there could be more potential upside. If you see the past instances where it changed green, from levels of as low as 450, it moved all the way to levels of 600. The last time it did on the higher side, again it moved up. So the trend certainly seems to be on the positive side, even on the negative side. So the trend is indicating that if it closes above the 542 level, United Spirits will see a big up move. So that's what the Bloomberg proprietary indicator, the trender, does indicate. So we'll ask our guest what they believe on United Spirits. So Dhaneshwar, what's your view on United Spirits?
Well, Darshan, if you look at the recent chart structure on a lower time frame, mainly on daily chart, so stock is moving in a clear downtrend, like making a lower top, lower bottom formation, and 580 would be a very crucial level for an bulls to take out. So that would be a first line of defense for the bulls. If bulls manage to take out that defensive level, then only I will see the upside towards the 680, 700 level.
So at this point of time, you won't take a bet on United Spirits?
Yeah, I won't take any bet on the United Spirits.
Okay, Amit, what's your view on United?
I would agree with you, Darshan. Yes, while in the near term the stock is in a sort of a downtrend, but around the 20 EMA, the stock has been continuously resisting, which is where your level is, around 542. So closing above 542 would, I think, bring the momentum back into the stock, and then we can see a trading pop towards 580, 575, 580 zone.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in. Kunal, what's your view on United Spirits?
Nelson, my view is like to get into the stock only if it cross above 542, because at that level 21 DMA has come down, and this stock is religiously following this 21 DMA, and no doubt the stock has taken a support of its 500 level. So it's like a good bounce back we may see, but if it sustain above 542, and after that we will see a good spot up to the level of 578. And on a daily chart, even we are seeing a positive divergence, so it's overall good sign, but let it cross 542. After that we will see a clear direction up to the level of 578.
Okay, so as the Bloomberg indicator indicate, closing above 542 is needed. A move about 542 is something that our guests are talking about. Dhaneshwar believes that he won't trade at this point of time. Only above 580 levels he sees a potential breakout that's coming in, but nevertheless the United Spirits has been an underperformer. Over the past 12 months is down almost 15% in trade. Let's start with the first round of Hot Money. Dhaneshwar is betting against Aurobindo Pharma. Let's have the chart. Dhaneshwar, if you can join me. What makes you negative on Aurobindo Pharma?
Yeah, Darshan, first of all, I would like to introduce about the pharma index. If you look at the pharma index, so pharma index is clearly trading in a lower top, lower bottom formation. And if you analyze the relative rotation graph, the pharma index is moving into the lagging quadrant, wherein the relative strength and the momentum is very less. So if you look at the Auro Pharma's chart, so recently the Auro Pharma has formed the slanted head and shoulder pattern, which has been broken down, and price is trying to give the pullback and tested the neckline, which is marked over in the red line. So that would be a neckline. So neckline is placed near about 750 mark. So sell on rise would be a great strategy. Keep a stop loss of 800 for an initial leg of down move towards the 600.
So this is basically what you're trying to say. This is the first shoulder, this is the head, and this is the second shoulder.
Yes.
And if it stays below this red line, you would see negative level.
Yes. And simultaneously, if you observe the oscillator like an RSI, so it has also formed a head and shoulder, and it has given a breakdown. So eventually this RSI push towards the southern trajectory, which create pressure on the underlying. that is Oro Pharma.
Okay, so how soon do you see this strategy playing out to levels of as low as?
It will take more than a month, because these are the weekly charts. So I observe that the within 4 to 5 weeks the 600 level would come.
4 to 5 weeks. Okay, thank you so much for that, Dhaneshwar. Amit, what's your view on Aurobindo Pharma?
I have a slightly different view. It's very range bound between the levels of 695 on the downside and 825, 830 on the upside. So it's a very defined and clear range. And right now we are, today's low was 706. So we are almost towards the lower end of the range. Only if it manages to breach 695 on a sustained basis, then yes, a sharper downside can come, almost of 100 rupees. But till then, that doesn't happen. This stock still continues to be in the range, and I would actually look to buy the stock towards the lower end of the range to play a
What range
pop.
would you buy?
So yeah, see, the 690 is the lower end of the range. It's been a range for almost like 3-4 months now. So 690 is the lower end of the range. You can actually play it up back, towards the lower end of the range for a move towards 760, 770 on the upside.
Okay, that's the view. That's Kunal, what's your view?
At this level, there is a weekly chart. The stock has been trading in a rectangle of shape of formation, and recently the stock has taken a support of its lower band of the formations. And today is the last day of the week, and it seems that the stock may complete this bullish hammer candlesticks formations. So in next week, if the stock sustain above the today's high, today's high, let's say 737. So it will give an index indications for an upside movement. So at this level, definitely I'll wait for upcoming trading session. Let's see how it will react. If it's sustained above today's high, then we may witness an upside movement.
Okay, contra views are coming in on the first stock, that is Aurobindo Pharma. Dhaneshwar is clearly bearish on the counter, but the other two guests, one of the guests believes that it's a wait and watch, but the other two guests say that it's an accumulate on decline. The second stock on our list is actually Balrampur Chini. Kunal, that's your call, this thing. I'll come to you, Amit, but Kunal, if you can come to me and come to the screen and indicate what which formation that you've used and why are you bullish?
Actually, this is a cup and handle formation, and one can say this is like a classic cup and handle formation, because if we see from here March 2018 to over here December 2018, means this cup took around 8.5 months, which is like a good period for a cup to get it formed, while this handle has taken us somewhere around 2.5 months period to get it complete. So overall, this is like a good combination of cup and handle formations, and recently the stock is trading above this neckline of cup and handle formations. So it's like a clear indication on weekly chart that the stock may give good upside movement, and cup and handle formation is like a bullish continuation as well as reversal formations. So this chart indicates an upside movement, as well as if we talk on the perspective of moving averages, then stock has started to trade above its 100 weeks moving average, which is a good sign for an upside movement. So overall, weekly chart indicates a good upside movement, as well as if we talk about monthly chart, then on a monthly chart the stock is forming a 3 rising method candlesticks formation, which is like a bullish continuations formations on monthly chart. So on a weekly chart plus on a monthly chart, overall indication which I am getting is on a bullish side. So my view is to go on to get into the stocks at the CMP. Even if it plunge up to the level of 122, it would be a good accumulation phase for the target of 144, 155, while I'll place my SL at the level of 114.
114. Is this more like a positional bet that you're taking? Is it a short-term bet? What kind of bet is this?
It's like between like the short-term plus medium-term. We may see this target within these 2 to 3 months.
Okay, and do you see the counter go back to levels of 180 where it was at least in September?
At that level, we have to see how volume activity is going on, how the volume is placing on at every rise in the stock. So after that, we will decide. But at this level, it's like accentuated buying has been taking place with this current breakout. So based on this, I am seeing somewhere around 144, 155.
Okay, that's the potential upside. Thank you so much for that, Kunal. Amit, Balrampur Chini, would you be a buyer?
Yes, I would look to buy the stock. It's in a clear uptrend in the near term. Always, probably a retest of 115, 117 could be a good area to accumulate the stock. I'm looking for targets of 145 on the upside.
Okay, what's your view, Dhaneshwar?
Yeah, well, if you look at the higher time frame charts, mainly on weekly, as Kunal said, it has formed the cup and handle formation, and it has been already given a breakout. So at the current market price or dips towards the 120 level would be a great buying opportunity. I would keep a stop loss of 115 on a closing basis for an initial leg of up move towards the 150.
Okay, so sugar as a sector is doing well. You've seen the traction that's coming in, a lot of government incentives, MSP at the ethanol place. So something in a market which has been extremely weak from the lows of 60, Balrampur Chini has actually doubled in such a weak market. The other stock which has moved again is Dhampur Sugar. So sugar as a theme has actually worked out, Praj worked out. So anything sugar related has been doing well in this market. Moving on, the next stock that we want to talk about is Piramal Enterprises. The buy call that's coming in on Piramal Enterprises. Let's pull up the chart. Piramal at one point of time was something that was the most preferred stock, and then post the NBFC crisis did manage to correct it. It's corrected all the way from levels of 3,300 and now stabilizing at 2,200. What's the wall?
Right. So see, NBFC stocks has been going through a rough patch. We have seen stocks within the sector go down. But on the contrary, Piramal actually is making a base while other stocks were actually falling down. If you can see the repeated buying coming in around this support zone, So we are seeing since last 3-4 sessions, we are seeing good momentum building up on financial stocks, and in the near term as well. This is a small consolidation, and there's a breakout about that. When it's coupled with the base formation that we have seen, it has not mind you, it has not made a new low, unlike the other stocks, which itself is something to something important development to watch out for. So today again, as we speak, the stock is nearing towards its day's highs, and it's moving up. So the momentum is already building up. The sector push is also there. I see a targets of 2,400 on the stock going ahead.
What would be the stop loss that you would keep?
The stop loss is 2149 is the stop loss. One can actually utilize some dips towards the 2240 kind of region to accumulate the stock.
My only question, Kunal, here is that if you're betting, I'm sorry, Amit. If you're looking to break, you're buying this above the breakout line. I can see that it's done this before, it's managed to sustain. Right. But that time volumes were there. This time volumes are clearly missing. Correct. So what makes you bullish that again it will hit?
See, it's just breaking out. So when it just see, we are trying to catch the early move. It's not that once a sustainable big breakout, then you miss the major part of the move. So you have to catch the earliest part of the breakout. Yes, it could fail. Things do fail in the market, but when you catch at the early point of the time, your stop losses are near, and the potential targets are, you can catch almost the entire move.
Okay,
that's the idea.
Thanks so much for that, Amit. Dhaneshwar, Piramal Enterprises, 2285. What's your chart reading?
Well, Darshan, in the recent chart structure, the stock is moving in a very tight range of 2,400 on a higher side and 2,000 on a lower side in last 4 to 5 months, and we are in the middle way. And if we apply the mean diversion strategy, so current market price would be a great buying opportunity. I can keep a stop loss of 2,200 for an initial leg of up move towards the 2,400. That would be an overhead resistance of that particular time frame.
Okay, Kunal, would you agree?
Yes, my view is same what Dhaneshwar ji said. At this level, stock is like in the middle of his rectangle formation, and from the current level, I am seeing somewhere around 2,400. 2,400 is like the strong resistance at this level, because it's like upper band of the rectangle formation, and exactly where the 200 DMA comes, 2,400. So from the present level, definitely I'll say at this level one can go for buy position PL with the SL of 2,200, and upside we may see 2,400, and if sustain cross about 2,400, and we may see an upside movement up to the level of 2,800. So this is like a good bet for positional, and about 2,400 it's good bet for long term.
Okay, so consensus bullish call that's coming in on Piramal Enterprises. Let's move on to the second round. Dhaneshwar has a buy call this time around, and the stock on his radar is UPL. Dhaneshwar, what's your view on UPL? Again,
it is actually a sale call.
Okay.
Conditional sale would be there in UPL. Recent chart structure suggests that the stock is moving in an escalating channel where the stock has taken the accelerating channel's overhead resistance near about 850 marks, and the bull rally has been caught in the proximity of 78.6% Fibonacci retracement. So this would be an conditional sell if stock is if bear is managed to take out the 806 level, that is current week low, then only we may see the further escalation towards the 700 mark.
So if it falls below 806, then only you would short. Okay, and can you explain this logic of 78.6% retracement?
Yeah, if you look at the recent chart structure, the recent fall, if you analyze from the top of the near about 900 level towards the bottom of 550 level, so it has taken a retracement of 78.6%, which comes to 824, 830 level. So exactly the stock has taken the resistance of that level, that is in Fibonacci retracement, so, and simultaneously stock is moving in an escalating channel where the overhead resistance has been taken by the bulls. So if bears will attack and manage to take out the 806 level.
So why is 806 important? Because you said that 824 is the retracement level.
Yes.
I want to understand why is 806 so important?
Because in today's closing session, if stock is managed to close near about 823, 20 in between. So on the weekly charts, the I could say the narrow range candle has been candlestick has been formed, and if the bears manage to take out that level, so stock will fall further towards the 700. So it is an indecisiveness of the candlestick pattern.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in on. So at right now, do nothing. If it falls below 806, then
that is a condition,
and that too on the spot basis.
Spot basis.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Dhaneshwar. What's Amit? What strategy would you employ in UPL?
I have actually a contra to him. I have a bullish view on UPL. I think after a breakout, it's just yes. I mean, after the breakout above 790, it has moved up and it's now consolidating. It's not yet showing any kind of weakness. So nothing, nothing to say that the breakout has been failing. On the contrary, it's been sustaining about the breakout zone. So I'm expecting a level of 850 to 860 on the stock. Only if the stock moves below 790, then I would say yes. The current move is over.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in on UPL. It's been a marked outperformer as far as the Nifty is concerned post the Arista acquisition. It fell because of the concerns on the Arista acquisition, but post that it's now again moving up in trade. The next stock that we want to talk about is LIC Housing Finance, and that's Kunal's pick. Kunal, if you can explain what makes you bullish on LIC.
Darshan, if you look over here, I mean, since October 2015, the stock has been trading in an upper rising. It's like a right angle broadening rising wedge formations, and over here you can see I have marked some green marks, and recently the stock has taken a support of its lower band of the broadening rising wedge formations. So it's like an indication that the stock may give an upside movement up to the level of its upper band of the broadening rising wedge formations. So this is like an first indication that the stock is giving a bounce back from its lower band of the formations. Second point that I'm talking on, it's like on a smaller time frame. If we talk about this green line, then the stock has given a breakout of its downward falling trend line. So it's like a bullish reversal formations. So overall on a daily chart, on a pattern formation, I am seeing a good upside movement in particular counter, as well as on a moving average front. If you talk about, then stock has been trading in a 21 plus 50 days moving average, which is like a good sign. It indicates a positive return in the particular counter. And if you talk about RSI, then there's a RSI. The stock has given a breakout of its descending triangle formation, and on RSI front, it's a good sign for the stocks to give an upside movement. As well as if you talk about MACD, then over here MACD as well is giving a positive growth. So no doubt it's below zero line. It indicates a little bit concern, but I think in coming days this MACD comes above zero line. So on daily chart, overall the chart structure looks very good. And if you talk about on weekly chart, then on weekly RSI as well indicating a good sign, because weekly RSI has formed a positive divergence. And if you talk about monthly chart on a longer time frame, the stock has been trading with a strong support of 390-400 level. So based on this monthly chart, weekly chart and daily chart, I'm expecting a good bounce back in the particular counter. My level is like from the present level, I am expecting somewhere around 499, which is like the immediate high of this level. And if it cross above 499, then we may see a good upside movement up to the level of 540. So I'm saying at this present level one can get into the stocks and up to the level of 463, while I'll place SL near 436, which is like the lower band of this formation, and upside 499 and 540.
Is it a short-term trade or a long-term trade?
No, it may take time because this is a low beta stock, so it may take 1.5 to 2 months.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in. Amit, what's your view? And thank you so much for that, Kunal. Amit?
Yeah. Yes, it can have a trading pop towards 495 kind of zone. See, it's been resisting around its 200 EMA. It's been struggling to actually close above it. So a close above 200 EMA would further propel the stock. So right now 495 looks like a ceiling for now. So it's a trading pop, I would say.
Dhaneshwar?
Yeah, recently last 2 to 3 days we have seen that the NBFC counter has started giving the pullback. So in that space LIC would be a better counter, so pullback cannot be ruled out. I will keep a stop loss of 450 for an initial leg of up move towards the 490-500.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in on LIC Housing Finance, and the last stock, at least from our guest, and then I will come out with my stock, and that is Havells. Amit, what makes you bullish on Havells?
See, Havells is a very textbook uptrend stock, it's been, this was the recent all-time highs, correction towards the support zones, moving averages. If you see the recent low here is also the previous bottom kind of a low. Also, we have seen a nice candle formation, a bullish candle formation here. All this evidence, suggests that the stock is actually now finding a support. The correction seems to be over. Overall, it's in an uptrend, so it's a good setup for someone who's looking to buy. I think I won't be surprised if Havells makes a fresh all-time highs again. It's been one of the outperformers in the market.
What are these two lines? Can you explain, and why are they important?
Yeah, so this is the 20 EMA, and if you see, it's been taking support there. Also here. These averages needs to be looked like a zone, not on an absolute basis.
Sure.
So sometimes if you see here, it did pierce during the intraday and then again closed back. Here, if you see, it pierced a little bit more. Broadly, if you see, it's been taking support here. Even here also, if you see, there was a minor breach, but nothing substantial. There's no follow through. Bullish candle formation overall and uptrend. So the setup overall is very bullish.
So it's at 696. You expect 750 to be broken. That if you're expecting an all-time high.
Correct. Yeah. So I'm expecting a retest of the all-time zone, which is, so the first target is 750, but the next target, which is an all-time new high, would be 780. So I think it's a good setup for someone who wants to go long.
What's the stop loss that they should keep?
Yeah, the stop loss is 664. Yeah,
664 is the stop loss. Thank you so much for that, Amit. Dhaneshwar, Havells, what's your view?
I agree with Amit because on the lower time frame, mainly on daily, the recent chart structure suggests that the stock is moving in a clear uptrend, and if you go to the higher time frame chart, so on a weekly chart, stock is managed to form the hammer candlestick pattern, that is a reversal pattern, but I would go by only above 706 level, because that is a high of the hammer candlestick pattern, and keep a stop loss. I will keep a stop loss of 680 on a closing basis for an initial leg of up move towards the 750.
Okay, and finally, Kunal, what's your view on Havells?
It's like a thumbs up from my side. Havells, recently the stock has formed a hammer candlesticks with the support of its 50 days moving average, which is like the classic bullish reversal formation, and on a weekly chart as well, I am seeing I'm seeing a positive I'm seeing a positive indication from the weekly chart. So overall, my view is like to get into the stock even at present level, while downside support comes at 670, so one can place SL at 670, and upside I'm seeing somewhere around 750, and if it cross, then we may see a 800 plus target in Havells.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in, consensus bullish call that's coming in on Havells. And finally, before we end, we have a chart on Suzlon. Let's bring up the chart, and again we've used the trender indicator for highlighting Suzlon. It's been pretty much the chart of the week, the big two moves, a 20% move and another 10% move that's come in. No doubt in terms of value, it's very small. It will be probably 1 rupee or less than that when the moves come in. But what has happened is that a trender indicates that if Suzlon closes above the level of 4 4.97, which is it is at currently at the same level or that level. The green level will shift into red. The red will shift into green. But in the past, we've seen that whenever it flips to green, the move hasn't been much. It consolidates significantly. So we are asking our guests, should this big move, two big moves that we've seen, be bought into in Suzlon, or is a Suzlon a stock that they would avoid? Dhaneshwar, a Suzlon at 530, what would your advice be?
On the weekly charts, we have seen that the last 4 weeks loss has been captured in the 1 week. So that would be a good buying has been seen in this week on the counter of Suzlon. And once the momentum start, price tends to remain in the motion more or less in the same direction. So pullback may continue towards the rupees 7, rupees 8. I will keep a stop loss of 4 for an initial leg of up move towards the 8.
Okay, what about you, Amit?
I mean, this has been one of the biggest laggards, I would say.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, see, it has not even closed above its 20 weekly moving average, which is where it is at right now, and it has not closed since January 2018. It's one of the biggest underperformers. I would never look to buy such stocks. Basically, I'm quite sure even this current up move will eventually falter, and we'll see fresh lows probably going ahead. See, this is something in lines of Arcom. Even when we saw that big news development of Jio, etc. buying, we did see a sharp pullback coming in, but the structure was so weak. Generally, market knows things more than anybody else, so it's I mean, same kind of structure. I don't see anything material in this.
Okay, and Kunal, what's your view on Suzlon?
On weekly chart, Darshan, this stock has been religiously following its 21 days moving average, and since last Jan 2018, the stock has been trading below its 21 weeks moving average, and at this level 21 weeks come is 5.35. So if it sustain above 5.35, if it gives couple of closing above 5.35, after that we will see an upside movement up to the level of somewhere around 8.05. Till then, my view is like if anyone has made a position near to 340, 350, it's like good indication to book a profit at this level, because I am seeing a profit booking from the current price, current market level.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in on Suzlon. Not the most encouraging views that will come in, but nevertheless, with that, it's a wrap on today's edition of Hot Money. Many thanks to all of my guests, Dhaneshwar, Amit, Kunal. Thank you so much for coming in today. Our speak you comes up next. Stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint.